How do you feel about the NBA having to resort to must-play rules? Michael, you first.
Let me tell you now, because I'm an athlete, I'm a huge sports fan. I show up at all kinds of sporting events in the off season when I'm not working as much, you know what I mean? So I see this from both sides. And I think when I look at this plan, I think this is a brilliant plan because it hits both sides. It hits the team in the pocket where they're trying to protect the most. And I think it hits the players in the ego where they want to protect the most. All right, I was thinking, okay, if you want to sit out, maybe I'll start a game and then just sit out the game. You know what I mean? But players don't want to do that, Key. We care about our stats. If I'm saying I want to average 100 yards a game or I want to average 30 points a game, and now I join in the game and I'm not playing in the game, that brings down my average. So I like it from that standpoint. I want to see the stars on the court when I'm showing up at a game. So I like you can't rest both stars. You got to play at least one if you have two all-stars. So I like that they're trying to do something with this, what do we call it, Kawhi Leonard rule that we have put in the NBA.
Yeah, I like it. I like the fact that they are trying to do something to mitigate the situation that we've been faced with in the past.
Yep.
Not having typically multiple players that are superstars don't rest anyway. Usually get one guy. Another guy may really have an injury at the same time, but that one resting on back-to-back travel nights type situations, I've never had a problem with that. The problems that I've always had with it is the fan base. I care about the fans.
Sure.
Right? Because everybody isn't in a position like we might be to pay a certain amount of money for a ticket, and then that superstar that you go to the game to see isn't playing, and we go, okay, we'll enjoy it anyway.
Right.
But if I'm a working person who makes a certain amount of money, who has to save up to take my kids, it's expensive. To take 2 or 3 kids and my wife or to a game, that may cost you, $1,500 that you saved up to get.
Absolutely.
And I want to go see Steph Curry play, and I'm expecting Steph Curry to play, then he's not playing. Now I got to look at my kids and be like, well, I thought he was playing. They didn't tell me he wasn't playing until earlier today. I would like to see something in there where they would be given a notice if someone isn't playing. I don't know what that would be, a week, 2 weeks, based on the schedule. You know the schedule. You know the back-to-back nights. You know the travel nights. The itinerary is put into play. So the organization...
It's too many unknown variables, Key. You don't know where you're going to be in the race. It's trying to get those top spots.
I understand that part, but I can always redact that and change my mind if that was ever the case. If I can always say he's playing on Monday, even though in December I said he wasn't going to play on January 6th, but now he's playing because we're in the hunt to do this. All I'm saying with that is I didn't like and I don't like when somebody's money's being wasted that really works hard and want to take their family to the games. I don't care about the TV. If you ain't, it's not that big of a deal. I understand it is to the NBA. It's a big deal because of television. I care about the fans going into the stadium. One of the things that I probably would have tried to add if I was working for the NBA is those that are sitting out, you got to sign autographs for X amount of period of time. In the concourse, with security, for the fans. If Steph Curry's coming...
That's not a bad idea, Key.
No, I'm just saying.
Not a bad idea,
because think about it,
now
Michael.
You can still come and at least see the player. That's not a bad idea. I like that.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if a family is spending their money and they just flew all the way to OKC to see the Lakers play in LeBron, and LeBron shows up.
You did that once.
I've actually done it, but everybody played. But I would have been mad if I had flown to OKC and there was no Westbrook and no KD. I'd have been extremely mad. I'd have been mad. But that's what I'm saying. There's some incentive there for the fan base.
Okay, allow me to frame this by reminding everybody that Michael Jeffrey Jordan, 9 times in his career, played all 82 games. Another time he played 81, and another time he played 80. So 11 times in his career, he played 80-plus games because he just played basketball. That's what he did because he was born to play basketball. All of a sudden, we have an agent-driven league and culture whereby players are saying, I'll still get paid the same if I only play 46 games. So everybody stays, quote unquote, hurt. Yep. How will this change being able to tell a player you're not hurt? Because you can't tell a player. You went through this in football. I have said for years and years covering your game of pro football, I wish I had a hurt machine whereby I could put my hand in the machine and then you put your hand in the machine and I could feel the pain in your ankle for about 10 seconds and I'd say, well, I could play with that. Or I might say, God, you should be out for 4 weeks with that, right? Because I can't judge another man's pain threshold.
I understand.
The team can't. You can't impose upon an NBA player, you're not hurt, go play. How do participation rules force that?
So, first and foremost.
Skip got the point. That's the perfect point, Ski, because what we're going to see is the injury report get long as I don't know what.
You guys are unbelievable. And Skip, you unbelievable for trying to compare something that went on so
what's
long
the difference?
ago.
He's
It's
still
a lot.
human?
It's different now.
It wasn't that long ago.
It's so long ago when we're talking about Michael Jordan and playing all 82 games and then some. Number one, they play all day long in the offseason. They're playing pickup basketball.
Who is today
Players,
or then?
today.
Well, they did then.
No,
too.
not the same.
Well, maybe they should cut down their pickup basketball.
They're training crazy with one another, like crazy. They planning all this summer Olympic, all this stuff. It wasn't that. Never mind that. When you start talking about guys sitting because of the economics has changed, it has nothing to do with the money. It has something to do with rest. It has things to do with rest.
Well,
I'm
it
hurting.
does everything to do
rest.
with money.
No, it doesn't, because they get the money
longevity.
regardless.
I know, but you say, if I only play 50 games a year, I might be able to last 5 more years.
No. Kawhi Leonard is hurt. He's hurt, and he's coming off injury. LeBron James is literally physically hurt. He's coming off injury.
He doesn't belong in this conversation.
Nobody's talking about hurt. Nobody's talking about when guys are hurt.
No, I
We're
understand
talking about
that,
when guys are healthy and they still sit out.
But they're not healthy. They're not healthy. That's why they're sitting out to rest up. That's why they're sitting. They're not just sitting out because they just don't want to play. Something's bothering them.
Rest is not an injury. Rest is not an injury.
When you have 82,
conserving yourself is not an injury. That's not an injury. An injury is my body can't function correctly. I can't go. Not I'm tired.
But if
I've been working too. I don't want to hear that.
You see, because you come from a different sport that's really physical, and no matter what, we was gonna crawl out there with our fingers broke and we gonna tape them. We was gonna do all that. We wear casts when we break our arms and still play football. Basketball is a different sport. Right. It's totally different. You say, what? He's not hurt because he twisted his ankle. Well, that's gonna hurt him from shooting. Hey, let's give it another night. It's a rest night. Let's see what the progress is gonna be 2 or 3 days from now. That's important. Well, you say, well, man, they just decided they didn't want to play. There may be some of that, but that's not everybody all the time. It's just not.
And by the way, you got to frame this also with, guess who started all this? The Bill Belichick of the NBA, Greg Popovich in San Antonio, he was the one who started resting players when they might not really, he just wouldn't make them play back-to-backs. There was that classic case they were going to play a national TV Thursday night game in Miami, and he put all 3 of them on Southwest in Miami and flew them back to San Antonio because they had played the night before.
Yeah, I understand.
So he's a player's coach. So once you open Pandora's box, all the players around the league are saying, well, Pop does it. I don't want to play every game.
But see, but the conversation is always as if they are missing 50 games because due to rest. And that's not true. It's just not true. There's a handful of cherry-picked games that are on back-to-back schedules.
All right,
that
but you know and I know, you guys both had somebody in your locker room, a starter, where you're looking side-eye saying, suck it up and go play, right?
Well, it's football. It's a different deal,
But you know you have teammates.
I can't tell somebody for 60 games, suck it up and go play. We're talking about 16 games. We're talking about a football. There's only 8 of them at home and 8 of them on the road when we play. 16 total. If you can't give me a couple out of that,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't be on the team.
Yeah, but it seems like the harder they train, the less they're able to play, right?
Because you're wearing your body down.
Okay, well, maybe that needs to stop.
This is this generation, guys. Let's stop. And I don't want to sound like an old guy, but
You do sound like an old guy.
Basketball. But it's not just in basketball. It's in football, too. You see it in football. You see it everywhere. You see guys tapping out on third down. You see it in basketball. Guys say, I'm not going to. That's all we're talking about is show up and play. Listen, it started way back then. If those old bodies can do it and we didn't have the technology we have now, you can do it now. Let's stop playing that game.
But Michael, you're not listening to me.
That's all he's saying. If you're injured. But Steve, Key, let's not act like the human body can't play 82 games. They are deciding not to.
Mike,
the human body can. That's what Skip's talking about. Jordan.
I'm not saying Skip's not saying that. I'm not saying you're not saying that. What I am saying, when you add 82 games, plus all the work in the offseason, plus all the work in the summer, and all that sort of stuff, the body is getting tired. So therefore, they want to preserve certain days to make stretch runs. I don't understand why that's a problem. And the only problem I got with it is let me know you getting ready to do it so I don't waste my damn money on no tickets for you not to show up.
Well, let me tell you why it's a problem. I'm paying you $65 million a year.
Yeah.
I'm paying you more than all them other things you're doing all season. I'm paying you. Cut back their days and give me all mine.
But I'm not going to be able to give you yours. I'm not going to be able to give you yours at the highest level to put us in the postseason if I'm drained and I can't play, or my shot is messed up and I can't get work in. If I can't put up 2,000 shots a day, then I can't be the guy during the regular season I need to be if I'm not training. Come on, Mike.
It's not the training, Key. It's not the training. I want you training for what you're doing. The problem, Skip, is we've gotten everybody has so many other things that they are interested in and so many other places that they go play with. And LeBron, he has a lead. They got a lead. We're going to play in this. We're going to play in that. Stop it all and play in the NBA. And you can train. You can shoot all the jumpers you need to get ready for the NBA, because that's where you make $60 million a year.
How many times did you tap out during a game, Mike?
Never.
How many times did I see Ezekiel Elliott go for 20 yards and wave like I can't do it?
That drove, and I'm not no old dude.
That drives me crazy.
But that drives me crazy. I hate it.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
Okay.
It's like, dude, seriously?
Last quick point. I got to defend Michael Jordan on this. Tim Grover, one of the greatest trainers ever, will tell you they work just as hard as anybody throughout the offseason. Yeah. He exerted himself just as much, and he played all 82 9 times.
I don't think Michael Jordan needs you to defend him.
Well, I think he did, because I think you just took a little shot at Michael Jordan.
I did not take a shot at him. I'm just letting you know that these dudes work harder now than they did back then.
How can you quantify that?
Because I'm watching it with my own eyes. I see it.
Listen, I know Tim Grover's workouts. I've witnessed them. I've watched Michael go through it. It was brutal.
I'm not saying they didn't work. I'm just saying these guys work harder. That's all I'm saying.
No, they don't, Key.
Okay, all right. Well, you can go on with that. You can go on with that 19.
Enough of this. We got to move on. Are the Jets making the right or wrong decision backing Zach Wilson?
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.